Hello and welcome to another edition of Sik'ar Reviews. And today I will be reviewing the Reloba Seleccion Mexico. Uh, wow, I feel weird saying all that. Spanish is not a language for me. So, using what's called a perfect cutter. That was a gift from Johnny Sticks. Really enjoy that. It just cuts off a little bit. Now, first off, this is a San Andreas Mexican wrapper, thus the Seleccion Mexico. It's a Nicaraguan binder with Nicaraguan filler. It's a 5x50 Robusto. Interesting about these. They seem to be a JR, well, at least as online, they're a JR Sik'ar exclusive. Not to mention that you could probably get them at some brick and mortars. But the Sumatra is back ordered at JR Cigars. No idea when they'll get in. They don't have a date. There's 4 different selections. There's Selection Sumatra, back ordered. There's Selection Mexico, which you can get at JR Cigar. There's Selection Habano, which you can get at JR Cigar. And there's Selection Oscuro, or Scura. It's actually Oscura, the way they write it, with an A at the end. However, you can only get that at Thompson, and Thompson has it listed as Oscuro. But it is Oscura on the band. And I really want to try that one. Unfortunately, it's at Thompson, and it's back ordered at Thompson too. As of the date of this video, I really didn't pay attention to the price points when I was looking at this. So, with that said, I'm going to get into this. Very nice looking band. I love the band on this. This is from my father and Don Pepin Garcia. Very light scents off the wrapper, nothing standoutish. The foot has a very strong hay smell, but a little bit of sweetness as well. Great. It'll be one of those days where I gotta turn it all the way down, hold it for a second, turn it all the way back up, and then it'll work. This lighter is kind of awkward. It's a good lighter, but I've always had lighter problems. Very loose draw on this. Yeah, I really don't mind that. Very smoky. Very subtle flavor. And I'm not picking up what exactly it is. Perhaps a little... I want to say there's something kind of fruity towards it along this line of like peach, but I'm thinking that I'm going to be totally wrong if I say that. It's indistinct. It's different. I can't say it for certain. Don't quote me on peach. But it's the best that my mind seems to want to come up with. Retro Halo is a nasal burner. Not recommended. Kind of a rich cookie dough-ish type flavor. Why is everything on this sweet, even though there's no sweetness in the smoke at all? Peaches are sweet, cookie dough is sweet, but there's none of the sweetness. It's just part of the flavor. The ease of draw on this, or the loose draw, is so well that I don't have to do a double puff at all. I really just can't pick up the flavor. I feel awkward on that. It's something I'm good at. It's giving the flavors is a metaphorical journey into cigar flavordom, and you have to be able to pull from your memory all these different flavors of things you've tried in the future and past. Okay, maybe not the future, but at least the past and the present. Working in restaurants, I've tried all sorts of foods. And of course, cigars are easiest related to essentially foods. However, we have our earthy notes. They usually tend to come from foods. But, dirt is a memory from when we were small children. A few of us, at least, I'm sure, have eaten dirt. And I don't even remember eating dirt, but somehow I remember the flavor of it. Maybe it's the smell. A lot of it's olfactory. There's some pepper on the tongue, the tip right there. But I can't pick up any other flavors other than that, and that dissipated right away, and there's not much finish on this either. So anyways, back to the drawing on flavors and stuff. Let's see, you got the nutty notes, which are all food-based. Woods. Nobody goes around really like chewing on a piece of oak, or we've had the toothpick in our mouth, and I don't even know what toothpicks are made out of, and probably various different woods depending on who made the toothpick that you have in your mouth at the time. Again, that's more olfactory. We pick that up by working with wood or being around wood, or heck, having a table that's finished. You can kind of still get a woodsy smell sometimes off the table, particularly if you fall asleep on it in school. Happened to me. So, anyways, we draw on our memories to bring out these metaphors, and of course, it's what ends up in. They say that smell can bring back memories, or flavors can bring back memories. So you can have a flavor of something or a smell of something that can awaken something inside your mind. Well, the flavors that are coming through in a cigar may not truly just taste like peach. When I say taste like peach, I'm not saying taste like a fresh Georgia peach you just bite into, juice everywhere, and you're sitting there like, love this peach, nice hot day, peach tea would be good. No, it kind of has the flavor of the aroma. And so it becomes a metaphor of it tastes like peach, but it's only because there's that faint feeling. And so cocoa is one that's very common, and other than like the nub macchiato and a couple others, uh, I've never actually tasted chocolate in a cigar. There's some things that remind me of cocoa, particularly baker's cocoa. And, you know, baker's cocoa is a little more on the bitter side, so sometimes you can lick your lips and be like, did I just have some cocoa? Speaking of which, I can taste that right now. Sometimes we have to run the gambit in our head of the various different flavors just to identify something that's lingering there and we want to recognize, but it just doesn't want to pop. And so that's kind of how this cigar is right now. It's lingering on the edge of letting out its secrets, but instead it's trying to hide behind a wall. And well, anyways, I'm going to get to you at the halfway point. This is 11 minutes in already, and I hope you found some of that interesting, or at least entertaining, or maybe even found it garbage. As long as you found it some way, I guess that's good, because you've made it to this point. So, see you at the halfway. Hello, and welcome back. This is something new I've been doing. I just did it yesterday for a re-review. First chunk of ash just fell off. It took about the first third with it, so I haven't actually hit the halfway point. Flavors to this point, the finish has gotten better. At first I said there wasn't much finish at all. Now there's quite a bit of finish that comes through, but the flavors still, they want to veil themselves. It's nothing I can just stick my hand on and say, that is the flavor. I can tell you, though, that these flavors, even the kind of peachish flavor that I mentioned, and the slight cookie dough flavor, still are more within the veins of an earthy flavor. So, take cookie dough and peach, combine them together, slather on some dirt, and take away all the sweetness. And that might be the flavor that you're getting, particularly the scents. I suppose you can have a heated up pile of dirt, lots of aromas coming from it, maybe, and then you can have some peach preserves cooking, and you can have some cookie dough that's fresh, and actually probably better opening the oven with baking cookies in it, and you get the aromas there. Those three aromas, take them and inhale them through your throat, might taste similar to the cigar. Probably not, though. It might actually kind of be horrible. One thing I will notice about the ash here is that it is very soft. When it fell, it just broke into, it disintegrated. It is very soft, very lightweight ash. It's not a bad thing. It's, I love saying that. Not a bad thing. That's probably because, honestly, in my opinion, the ash is unimportant. It's the flavors that are important. I see other reviewers always commenting on the ash, like, oh, it's a white ash, oh, it's a firm ash, oh, it's a hard ash, oh, it's a soft ash, oh, it's powdery ash, flakes everywhere. Honestly, the ash doesn't make the cigar. I know there are people who like to have an ash that long, the entire cigar being an ash. By the time that they're finishing, they're like, I find it kind of awkward to be like balancing it and trying not to shake in the least bit to hold that little ash on. And, okay, huge ash. It's just not very entertaining or fun. Anyways, I'll get back to you at either the halfway point or the next big change in this. So, see you shortly. So I've reached the halfway point, and I'll risk it. The ash is splitting in two as I smoke. It's a very light, feathery ash. The whole cigar itself has a very light feel to it. I've had other Robustos that you can feel it, and it feels solid. It feels heavy. It's like in this cigar, all the tobaccos are very light or light tobaccos in density. The flavors are essentially still the same. But I'm kind of noticing a leathery flavor to this, and maybe more leathery than some other cigars I've had, as I'm really tasting it up towards the back of the throat. It's a curious cigar, and quite good so far. It's definitely one that I've been interested in throughout to this point. It's kept my interest, it's kept me guessing, and it's just kind of a playful cigar, I suppose you could say. Anyways, if there's any more changes, I'll let you know, and I'll see you then. Well, it hasn't gotten any better in that final little bit. Final thoughts on this. Very nice beginning. Kind of weak flavors. Very nice flavors. It kept me guessing. It was quite tasty. Gets into the final half, where I came in and said the flavors changed, and it just went south real fast. And I mean, this is like a very strong bitter coffee, and I don't like bitter. I don't like coffee. Ooh. Anyways, my final thoughts. If you're like me, and you don't like bitter, and you don't like coffee much, this cigar is not going to be for you. If you like full-bodied and you love coffee, and you want to, I don't even know if you'd want to pair this with coffee. It'd be like coffee overdose in flavor. It's just, I don't know. I can't give it a great recommendation. It's not my cup of tea. That I can say. It's very easy for me to say, I don't like this cigar. Sorry, Don Pepin Garcia. You make some great cigars. This one is, in my opinion, junk. Very nice first half. Horrible second half. I don't usually give bad reviews. Now, should you try this? If you do not like full-bodied coffee, if you don't drink black coffee 4 or 5 cups a day, and you don't like strong cigars, this cigar is not going to be for you, at least in the end. If you do like strong coffee, and you drink multiple cups of black coffee each day, and you don't put creamer and sugar in it, and you like strong full-bodied cigars, you might like this. So, I don't know. 'Tis up to you to try. For my friend Rita, who I don't think she'd appreciate this. I think she'd think it was gross. A couple other people I know, I wouldn't recommend this to them. Yeah. Anyways, I have nothing further to say other than this one wasn't so good. Anyways, with that said, please add and subscribe, leave questions, comments, feedback, suggestions. If you've smoked this and you agree or disagree with my review, go ahead and leave your opinions in the comments below. Do remember this is for the Seleccion Mexico. I have not tried the other 3 Seleccions, and I do believe it's the Habano that's the more common one, or the Sumatra. I think it's the Habanos that's more common. Anyways, enjoy every puff. Hello, and welcome back to Well, I'm at about the final third of the Reloba Seleccion Mexico, from my father, Don Pepin Garcia. I'll say that the finish has gotten much stronger. The nicotine has really ramped up just a little bit in the final half here. The flavors just took a kind of change to a very full kind of flavor where it was very mild before. The leather notes have kind of gotten to the extreme side of almost being a sourish bitter. That may not be in every cigar. I just was talking to a blender who was saying cigars can turn bitter from time to time. It's not supposed to happen. So if this one's bitter, it could just be something slightly off with the cigar. But I don't know. I've rarely noticed a cigar turn bitter like this. And it still has the flavors. It just, back of the throat, near the upper part of the palate, heading back towards the back of the throat, kind of really is affected by that. Great smoke output. And as I said, that bitterness, it kind of lingers on the lips just a little bit. It almost has like a chemically like flavor to it. And I'm really not too keen on the end of this. The first half was great, but I don't like smoking like bleach and bathtub cleaner or oven cleaner. This has a very caustic feel to it. I don't know. Right now, I'm not enjoying this. Really like the first half though. That was fabulous. But this final third, it's kind of. Whew. Anyways, if there's another change, I will let you know. I will definitely be back because I'm gonna smoke about another half inch to inch of this. So I'll say my pieces then. All right, see you shortly.